So I've seen a lot of people having a lot of confusion about the seasons and how they operate in Once Human. And even I had some confusion about this for a while. I had a general idea, but now the developers have released some more details on what exactly seasons mean in Once Human. I thought I'd make a quick little video about this and kind of spread some of this information because I'm still seeing a lot of people asking this question in the chat in game, and I've been trying to sort of explain it. And I thought, well, we ought to just make a video about it. So let us read what the developers have told us. They actually start out with, a lot of you have shown a lot of interest in understanding how seasons work in Once Human. So let's dive into some of the most pressing concerns about seasonal gameplay. Number one, what are seasons? In Once Human, each server has a gameplay theme, which is what we call the seasonal scenario. Each scenario offers different seasonal objectives or special gameplay mechanics. We've crafted a range of seasonal objectives, to different scenarios, each packed with unique mechanics, environments, and content. Different scenarios may take place in different areas of the map, including map areas that have not yet been unlocked. And some scenarios will also feature a completely new storyline experience. As you navigate these scenarios, you'll have the thrilling choice to collaborate or compete with other players to achieve your seasonal goals. Once a season concludes, you can embrace a new challenge by joining a different scenario or taking on your current one with renewed vigor. After each season, you can sign up for the next scenario. Additionally, be on the lookout for 2 new scenarios launching later this year. One, you're in your 2 main options being a PvE scenario with new survival elements, or a PvP scenario centered around faction confrontations and agency. The second part they say is, what inspired these seasons? With seasonal scenarios, we want to present players with more various gaming experiences so that the game has a little something for everyone, no matter their gameplay style or their preferences. Number 3, once a new scenario begins, will I lose my previous progress? They say, we are aware that many players are concerned that their in-game progress will be reset in 6 weeks. We are here to reassure you that this will not happen. We value the time and effort you put into this game, so the items and gear you have obtained from seasonal scenarios will be retained in various ways. And this is where it kind of gets interesting. It says, the following in-game content will be retained no matter how the seasons and servers change. Important currencies. These include Star Chroms, Christians, Mitsuko's marks, Stellar Planilla, and Sproutlets. That being premium currency, the Wish Machine currency, and some various other currencies you can earn in-game. B, gear blueprints and their stars, blueprint fragments, weapon accessories, and mods. This means all the gear blueprints you unlock, pulling from the Wish Machine, combining duplicates to upgrade their quality, the fragments as you piece them together to make full blueprints, the weapon accessories that you unlock by roaming around the map, and mods for your gear that you find through PvE will all be retained. Furniture formulas, except those gained through your memetics. So formulas you find wandering around throughout the world, opening chests, killing mobs, things like that, will also be retained. Also premium ones from the cash shop, I would assume. D, cosmetics, expressions, and poses, name cards, and more. So this would be all the stuff that you would probably acquire mostly through the cash shop system, right? These would be things you can unlock. Some of these currencies can be earned in game and unlock things as well, but a lot of this is going to be the cash shop stuff. Like, none of that stuff's going to go away. E, house blueprints. After a house blueprint is saved, you can reconstruct the building at any time. If advanced materials are not available, basic materials will be used in the building instead. Now, this is something they had early on in the beta, and then they removed, and now they've brought it back. To explain this in simple terms, you make a blueprint of any building that you want to create. In most cases, that's going to be your house or your base, right? You can make a blueprint of this. You can create it. You can create it in Eternal Land, which is your own personal instance server, or you can make it in the game world and then save it as a blueprint. And then if you come back to a future season or a new server or something like that, you can just pop out your old house and not have to recreate it all from scratch. They also suggest here, I haven't actually tested it, but they suggest here that if you build it out of a higher tier of materials and you want to deploy it on a new server when you're brand new, they'll just supplement in lower level materials, and then you can upgrade it later, which is pretty nice. F, main story and side story task progress. The task you've already completed, you can accept more streamlined versions of them in the new season, but still get all the rewards. So what this sounds like to me is that you don't have to replay the entirety of the story every single time the new server comes up, which is pretty nice because, you know, the story is not bad, but you're probably not going to want to play it over and over and over again and see the same task and have to complete the same objectives, right? Like, you're going to want to just progress forward and move forward into the game without it. So that is nice to see. Haven't actually gotten to test this yet, obviously, since we haven't had multiple seasons. So I don't know what they mean by streamlined versions quite yet. But hopefully they'll just allow you to skip or maybe even move over certain objectives that are meant to sort of like teach you stuff that you already know. And then G, and finally, they say your friend list will fully carry over. Furthermore, you can check which player joined your warband in the previous seasons and add them to your friends list. This is kind of an interesting one. I'm not sure how this is going to work with multiple servers and everything. If you're going to have somebody on your friends list but not necessarily be on the same server, are you going to be able to like whisper them only? I don't know what all the limitations of this are going to be, again, because we haven't had a full season progression yet. So but still, it's good to know that, like, if you make friends with a bunch of people, you at least have the option to see maybe what server they're on. Maybe you want to go to the same server as them, even if maybe you're not in the same Discord or something like that. Kind of a nice feature, but not sure about the limitations. And now finally it says, second, the following content and resources will only be partially carried over when you decide to enter a new season and start a new journey. Essential resources like materials, medicine, and ammunition can be carried over into a new season based on item transferring rules, so you can progress faster in the new season. Now, they talked about this in the Eternal Land stuff when they first released that last beta, but some of the translation was a little rough. Didn't fully understand what exactly all this meant, but from what I was able to gather of it, and then looking at this here, it looks like basically what you're going to be able to do is, depending on the season's rules, you'll be able to carry a certain amount of your resources with you out of Eternal Land. Now, if you're confused, what I mean by that is when a season ends, all your materials that you've gathered, medicine, ammunition, all that stuff, basically downloads into your own personal instance called Eternal Land. And then you can maintain those resources in that world. And then when you decide to opt into a new season, there will be limitations on how many of those resources you can bring with you. So you can start a new season already with potentially tier 2 or tier 3 materials at your disposal so that you can upgrade your base and build advanced structures quicker. Same thing when it comes to ammunition. You'll be able to use better ammo earlier or load into the game with more meds and stuff like that to heal, so you can just progress faster. Now, this does come with limitations, because maybe your alarm bells are starting to go off and you're thinking, well, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like people are going to get to progress faster if they played the game earlier, right? If I'm new and I have never played before and I'm coming into a season, does that mean I'm at a massive disadvantage? Yes and no. No, because the server is going to be progression gated regardless. Now, this is just normal. This is just how the game is built. You will hit a wall eventually. So even if people have an advantage, even if they're an entire day ahead of you, they will eventually hit the wall and not be able to progress any faster. So as long as you're keeping up with the server progression, you will not really be behind the overall progression curve. This really just lets them hit that wall faster or perhaps get to a point where they can run around the world farming stuff or whatever they want to do with their time, as opposed to farming up more materials, right? And of course, we don't know how much of this material we're going to be able to carry over. It's probably going to vary by season based on the way they word this. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. I don't think this is going to be as big advantage as it sounds. It will be an advantage, but not a huge one. Also, not sure how this is going to work for PvP, for the PvP people out there. PvP is opt-in on the rule sets that they've currently tested. So it's not like somebody can just be standing out there with a high-level sniper rifle and kill you as soon as the game starts. That could change, but currently PvP is like opt-in even on PvP servers. So even in that scenario, I don't think it's going to be as big an advantage as it may sound. Next point being number 3, in each new season, your character will begin at level 1, and all exploration progress on the world map is reset. This ensures a level playing field for all players in the new season. Additionally, the new scenario will present a different map for exploration and rewards. Each seasonal server will also feature fresh challenges, tasks, and rewards. So this seems fairly self-explanatory. When you opt into a new season, you will have to start at level 1, and the map will be essentially fog award out, and you won't have, your previous exploration progress. Occasionally they do plan to offer different maps, so sometimes you'll just be on a totally new map, and they will present totally different exploration and rewards for that exploration, as well as fresh challenges, tasks, and rewards, which are just sort of like achievements and stuff like that to aspire to get some resources, to get some in-game currencies and stuff like that. So those will like sort of change up and refresh, and you won't automatically have those, which is a good thing because you're going to want to do those again to get those currencies and get that stuff back anyway. Number 4 says, why does each scenario last 6 weeks? This is a big question I see a lot of people asking. Different scenarios have different durations. The 2 existing scenarios are 6 weeks in length. Future scenario seasons might have longer or even shorter durations. There might also be some permanent scenarios for players to enjoy in the game. Now, this is a big one. This is a big one a lot of people are asking about, and a lot of people are freaking out about. They're like, 6 weeks, I'm going to lose everything? Well, they just answered that question. That's not quite how it works. And I know some people are like, I don't like wipes at all. I don't like the idea of a server only lasting for a certain amount of time. When can I get my hands on a permanent scenario, or a permanent, or even a private game where I can just play maybe by myself or maybe with a couple of friends, and we don't have to worry about our progress being wiped or the end of a server or something like that? This is them confirming that in the future they are considering doing permanent scenarios where servers will stay up and there won't be any kind of progression. The season will not end. It also confirms that the length of the seasons is going to be variable. Sometimes they'll be shorter, sometimes they'll be longer. Depending on how you want to step into this game, I think this is a pretty great approach. Personally, I like the season length. I like the idea that I can start up when a new season is beginning, know exactly how long it's going to last, have a totally different experience, and enjoy the game in a sort of semi-fresh environment. And then, when I'm done, if I'm, kind of burnt out on Once Human, or I want to play another game, I can just, step away and come back 2 seasons, 3 seasons later and do it again, right? I think this is a great way to go about it. However, I do understand that some people are different. Some people want to go very, very slow. Some people want to like play one day and then stop playing for like 3 weeks and come back. And, there's just a whole variety of different ways that people like to consume the game. And it sounds like the developers are listening to that feedback and saying, okay, we're going to offer more of these options. We're going to offer permanent scenarios. We're going to offer even shorter ones for people who can only play a less, even potentially amount of time. Maybe even longer scenarios that will be like 12 weeks instead of 6. So they're really trying to offer the full suite here. And I can say that these developers, they do listen. They don't always get it right. Nobody does. They're human just like anybody. but they do listen to feedback, and they have solicited that feedback both from people like myself as a creator, and also, you know, through surveys and stuff like that. They've shown they actually listen. They actually made a lot of changes that we wanted them to make from beta. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So as always, I would say, if you have feedback on all this, if there's things you'd like to see, do reach out to the developers, do make posts, do make your own videos, go on Reddit, hit them up in Discord. Like, they're all over the place. They're active all over the place, and they're always listening. They've done roundtable discussions with creators to ask for their feedback. They've done all kinds of stuff. So 100% reach out to them. But hopefully this gives you guys some clarity on what's going on with seasons. Again, directly from the developer's mouth, this is what they're saying is going to happen. And a lot of this does align with what they had talked about in previous betas and stuff like that, and in the creator Discord. So I wanted to get a video out here and kind of talk to you guys a little bit about this kind of stuff, because I'm, like I say, I'm seeing a lot of questions about it, and a lot of almost like panic about what is going to happen when the season ends. Thanks guys for hanging out as always. You guys have been killing it lately with all the subs, the comments, all the positive support. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video and you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I would very much appreciate it. That's how the best way to support what we're doing around here. We plan on making even more Once Human videos, as well as other games as well. And if you'd like to check us out live, we are live over on Twitch, currently 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, from 6 p.m. CST until at least 11 p.m. CST. And then we do movie nights in the Discord on Friday and let the community decide what are we going to watch. So you're welcome to come join us for those as well. Happy hunting out there. Peace.